Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into XRP, and I've got to tell you, the timing couldn't be better. We're here in November, and if you've been following the crypto space, you know everyone's buzzing about this potentially being the month. The month where everything changes. Here's what's got me excited. We're seeing all the pieces fall into place. XRP spot ETFs could finally get approved this month. Imagine what that could do for adoption. Plus, there's real hope that the government shutdown situation gets resolved, which would bring some much-needed stability back to crypto, and put us on track for regulatory clarity by the end of 2025. I know the teams are still working hard even with the government closed, but think about it. This could be the month where the breakout we've all been waiting for finally begins. Fingers crossed, right? Now, let me blow your mind with this number. The XRP ledger just closed Q3 with a staggering $364 million in tokenized real-world assets. That's not just impressive, it's record-breaking. But here's what really gets me excited about this. It proves that real, tangible assets are flowing onto the XRP ledger. And honestly, this is just the beginning. The XRP ledger was literally built for this. Tokenization is in its DNA. Want to know how big this could get? Standard Chartered is predicting tokenized real-world assets will hit $2 trillion by 2028. Personally, I think it's going to happen even faster than that. We're just waiting for those clear tokenization regulations, and when they drop, we're going to see the biggest tokenization boom in history. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be tokenizing their assets. Value will be flowing onto these networks every single day. And here's the kicker. All those assets need something to move them around. They need a bridge currency. Enter XRP. Ever wondered why XRP has exactly 100 billion tokens? Ripple's CTO David Schwartz recently broke this down, and it's actually brilliant when you understand the reasoning. First up, they needed enough divisibility to handle micropayments at massive scale. This wasn't some afterthought either. This was baked into the ledger's DNA from day one, way before NFTs or DeFi made tiny transactions cool. Second, and this gets a bit technical, but stick with me, the number had to fit perfectly inside a 64-bit integer. What does that mean for us? It means XRP can be processed efficiently by standard computer systems without breaking any accounting logic. Pretty smart, right? Third, and this one's my favorite, it had to be a number people could actually remember and understand. Because let's face it, adoption slows down when people can't wrap their heads around the numbers they're dealing with. But here's what really gets me excited about that first reason: micropayments at scale. David Schwartz once called micropayments the low-hanging fruit for blockchain and crypto, and he's absolutely right. Picture this.
Future with me. Instead of paying for a monthly Netflix subscription, you pay for just the one movie you want to watch. Instead of subscribing to a newspaper for a whole month, you pay for just the articles you actually read. We're talking about billions upon billions of micropayments happening every single day. And here's another thought. People won't be getting paid weekly or monthly anymore either. Payment structures are going to be completely revolutionized. This isn't just theory anymore, folks. The infrastructure is being built right now, and XRP is positioning itself right at the center of this massive shift. And here's where it gets really interesting. People won't just be paying differently. They'll be getting paid differently too. We're talking about hourly payments, daily payments. That's what micropayments are truly all about. Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned this multiple times, and it makes perfect sense when you think about it. But here's the thing. Before any of this can happen, we need to remove all the friction from transactions and payments. All of it. Speaking of removing friction, you've got to hear what's been happening in traditional banking. Even Jamie Dimon is finally coming around to the reality that blockchain is real, and stablecoins might actually have a legitimate use case. JP Morgan even has their own coin now.
Bitcoin.
My blockchain is real. Stable coins may have a real use. We have the JP Morgan coin. Tokens will be real. Programmable money will be, all that will be real. I'm not going to say that about Bitcoin because then that's all I'm going to read about in the headlines. The next, and then I get death threats and shit like that. So that stuff. Like,
so it's not a pit rock, but maybe a pit rock, TBD. But the underlying technology, you think, is...
Yeah, but I've always said that. Blockchain is a technology that we've all been yapping about for 12 years, and it's not fully deployed. Because it's hard to deploy blockchain that we all agree on permissions and rules. And I do, we do use it. We use it intraday repo. I think it's going to replace certain systems we all use that are clunky or late or not 24/7. Those are all legitimate complaints. And blockchain may be one of the things that fixes that. Other technologies can fix it too, by the way. It's not the only thing that can fix it. And sometimes it's a solution looking for a problem. We already move money real-time payments. Most of it moves digitally in effect. It runs through AML, KYC, risk systems when it happens. And you can't just replace all that with a blockchain and think you're doing what regulators and governments want you to do. So it's a little more complicated than just it's going to replace everything.
Now, here's what I want you to notice about what Jamie said. He's desperately trying to keep the current system relevant. And you know why? Because JP Morgan makes an absolute fortune off the current system. They love that things are slow and expensive. They love collecting all those fees month after month. It's their bread and butter. But here's the irony. He mentioned JP Morgan Coin, and that's where things get really interesting. Brad Garlinghouse had the perfect response to JP Morgan Coin, and it's genius when you think about it.
It is interesting you say that because you look at, JP Morgan, where you had Diamond saying that he thinks Bitcoin is
a fraud. And then he launched a coin.
Yeah. And it sort of reminds me a little bit of PayPal's journey too, the sort of contentious relationship with banks and the credit card rails. So are you seeing this shift happen? And again, where is this 5 years from now? Are you able to exist in a world where the JPM coin exists and other banks have their own forms of cryptocurrencies?
Look, the JPM coin, I think, actually, in many ways, has been great for the industry because, someone who not that long ago was saying Bitcoin's a fraud is now leaning in, and it was a macro good thing for the industry and bringing credibility. I'll give it a thumbs up. The JPM coin, though, if you really think about it, and there's a lot of banks represented in this room, is Wells Fargo going to use the JPM coin? Probably not. Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Probably not. And so, are we all going to have a Wells Fargo coin and a B of A coin? And now, what about the interoperability between these coins? The other thing that makes no sense to me, in order to get a JPM coin, you deposit $1 in a JPM account, so it's one-to-one backed in dollars, and you can only use it intra JPM's ledger. Why didn't I just use $1? I actually don't understand what problem that was solving.
I think you're illustrating why there's been a lot of skepticism in crypto and the blockchain right here. And it's not that people don't believe in it and that it has a very useful case. It's just that it hasn't picked up in a significant way when, Tim said, thought it might have changed the world by now. And Dan, are you surprised by that?
Brad's absolutely right. Think about this logically. Why would Bank of America ever want to use JP Morgan Coin? They wouldn't. And here's the beautiful part. Even if JP Morgan wants to send their coin around the world, they're still going to need a bridge currency. They're still going to need something like XRP. Picture this. JP Morgan Coin goes in, converts to XRP, travels across the globe, and comes out as Bank of America Coin, or Citi Coin, or whatever other bank coin exists. It's the same story with all these stable coins that banks are creating right now. Everyone's scrambling to create their own stablecoin because they all want to capitalize on that market. But Brad nailed it with his question about one-to-one backing. Why not just use the dollar? Now, let's talk about something exciting that's happening right now. Uphold just relaunched their XRP Rewards debit card in the United States, and this is becoming a major trend in this cycle. It's all about earning XRP back on every dollar you spend. Gemini and other companies are jumping on this bandwagon too, because they recognize the opportunity. Everyone wants to capitalize on this growing market. But it doesn't stop there. Everyone's offering yield now too. Here's what I'm really excited about. Lending is going to be the next huge market. We're talking about borrowing against your crypto, loaning out your crypto, and getting returns by putting your crypto to work. There are going to be so many options, and everybody's going to want a piece of this pie. It's becoming a massive trend, just like tokenization did. Remember back in 2022 and 2023, nobody was really talking about tokenization then. But by 2024, suddenly everyone was talking about it. Now it's all about lending, borrowing, yield generation, never selling your crypto.
getting passive income from your holdings, avoiding taxes by borrowing against your assets instead of selling. These concepts were talked about and speculated on years ago, but people thought this stuff was 10 years away. Well, guess what? Here we are in 2025, just 4 years later, and it's becoming the biggest thing in the space. And here's the kicker. This is all going to explode with institutional adoption. These institutions aren't coming into crypto to buy, wait for a price pump, and then sell. That's not their game plan at all. They're coming in to find every possible way to make money in this space. And the cryptocurrencies they're buying while they're here, they're going to lock those away for very, very long periods of time. This is the institutional strategy, and it's going to fundamentally change how this entire market operates. Now, here's something I've been telling you for a while. You need to think like an institutional investor. Don't just buy XRP and wait for the price to go up so you can sell your entire bag. Why? Because first of all, you're going to get hammered on taxes. But more importantly, you're cashing out into US dollars, and US dollars
Are losing value every single day. Here's a smarter play. If you're going to sell into a stablecoin instead. That way, you can earn yield on that stablecoin while you spend it. You can use the Uphold debit card, the Coinbase debit card. Everything's going to be tied to your crypto and your stablecoins. Everything is moving toward digital wallets now. That's the next massive thing in crypto. Borrowing, lending, yield, staking. This is it, folks. We are literally at the moment where crypto is maturing. You're no longer super early, but you're still early enough. And being early in this space, that means you're going to make serious money. Think about it this way. If you bought your XRP today, you'll most likely make more money than someone who buys 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, or maybe even 2 months from now. Everyone has that moment when they entered this space, and they all look back wishing they could have bought at cheaper prices. But here's the real question. Is that really going to matter if you're not selling your crypto? Is it going to matter if you're earning yield from it? Is it really going to matter if you're borrowing against your crypto instead of selling it? When XRP is sitting at 3 digits, do you think it's going to matter much whether you bought it at $3 or $4? Not really. That difference becomes noise when you're looking at those kinds of gains. That's what's coming over time. And like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient. The infrastructure is being built. The regulations are coming. The institutional adoption is ramping up. We're witnessing the transformation of an entire financial system, and XRP is positioning itself right at the center of it all. What do you think? Are we finally at the tipping point for XRP and the broader crypto market? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more crypto insights like this.